Hey, everybody. Thanks as always for tuning in to PDubs Arcade Loft, where we always appreciate it when you hang out upstairs with us and check out the channel. So guess what? We got some big playoff football stuff going on tonight. So I figured, why not? Let's just do our stream in the middle of the day. If you guys are super busy, you can catch the replay, but we're going to have a little bit of fun talking about some what-if scenarios, and one that is probably more than a what-if, one that is strongly rumored to be happening. We're going to be talking about these Arcade1Up legacy cabinets. And I figured, why not? You know, because Multicade Mondays, we got something else planned for that. Let's kick it old school. Let's hate Mondays one more time. Let's go back in time. Let's hate Mondays just a little while longer. Let's keep Monday at bay. Today's Sunday. We hate Mondays. We dread tomorrow, but we're living it up today. It's the I Hate Monday show. Okay, dude. So I did a video a few days ago. It was a video. It was a would Arcade1Up release a Data East arcade cabinet? I was actually quite surprised by the comments on that video. If you saw that video, start throwing some stuff in the live chat. Let me know what you guys thought about it. And after that video was released, I was thinking about it. I was like, there's some additional other publishers that Arcade1Up works with that they haven't made a legacy cabinet yet. It seems like they just keep recycling the same four publishers. We're getting Bandai Namco, Atari, Capcom, and who's the other one? Midway. But what about everyone else? Like Data East and stuff. Before we get to that, though, let's say hi to everyone in the live chat. We got Adam. We got Toady. We got How to Bachelor. We got Devil Waldo. What's up, Devil Waldo? Mad Astra Gaming. Crumb. Stardust. Alfred Burgers here. Brooklyn Menace. We also have Toady C, Sathius, Weapon X. Welcome to the afternoon show, gentlemen. I know you guys are super busy on Sundays, but I wanted to talk about this topic, and we're going to keep this. This isn't going to be like an hour-long show, so don't worry about that. So First thing I wanted to talk about was the potential for. Let me change my screen here. Let's recap this one real quick, and then we'll get to the two new ones. So, Data East Arcade Legacy Cabinet. Now, I did a video on this the other day, and when I said I was surprised, I was super shocked that a lot of the viewers who left comments on that video, they actually said they would be interested in this. They said that they would be interested. Now, I figured Data East, everybody has Data East games, right? If you think about it, all these Data East games, about 90 Data East games are built into the At Games Legends Ultimate platform, right? These machines right behind me. Like all these games are included with that system. Also, iArcade has signed a deal with Data East. They've put like, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 Data East games on there with more to be released soon. And of course, the caveat there with iArcade is you have to buy the games a la carte for one system. But then again, it comes down to what do you want as a gamer in your home? Do you want dedicated cabinets? Do you want multicades? Are you okay with a mixture of both, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? So when it comes to Data East, these games, it's like whoever Data East obviously went bankrupt, and whoever owns the Data East IP, they're the town bicycle, baby. They give these games to everybody. You get these games on the Evercade, you get these games on consoles, etc. Data East is everywhere. So I assumed when I made that video, I thought a lot of people would tell me they had no interest in a Data East Legacy Edition cabinet. And wouldn't you know it, guys? Go read the comments on the video, dozens and dozens and dozens of comments from people saying that if Arcade1Up put out another Data East Legacy cabinet, even though they have access to these games on other platforms, whether you could buy them a la carte or included on the system, they would purchase it. And I'm wondering if it's because, this Burger Time artwork, it was a limited edition cabinet. They only made 3,000 of them. And there's a whole bunch of new Arcade1Up fans, right? A whole bunch of new Arcade1Up fans out there who missed out on some of the earlier generation Arcade1Ups like Star Wars and Burger Time, etc. So I think that might be possibly what's kind of driving that a little bit. So when you're taking a look here, I mean, these are some of the games that I picked. These are the games that I think Arcade1Up could do as we finish the recap here. Obviously, Burger Time, Astro Fighter, Astro Fantasia, Karate Champ, Peter Pepper, Ice Cream Factory, Desert Assault, B Wings, Darwin 4078, Kung Fu Master, Windjammers, Night Slashers, Bad Dudes, Joe and Mac, Bloody Wolf, Midnight Resistance. Now, some people hate Data East arcade games, man, but I'm here to tell you there's a lot of Data East arcade games that are really cool. And depending on what list you look at and the bias of the person who made that content, whether it was a website article, whether it was a live stream, whether it was a produced video on YouTube, whether it was a listing on an internet ad. I mean, it all depends on the personal bias of those people. But usually, when you look at some of the top arcade games of all time, there are a few Data East titles mixed in. Now, you'll notice I put on here mostly online leaderboards, no RoboCop. Now, the number one comment I kept getting on my video was people were like, "PDubs, you forgot RoboCop." RoboCop's probably the biggest, next to Burger Time, biggest Data East arcade game. And I had to copy paste the same reply to everybody. I don't know if you guys actually read the comments. I was like, we've mentioned this to John D in the past when John D spoke a little bit more to the content creators. And he told us way back then that, hey, man, when it comes to Robocop, because it's Hollywood IP, Hollywood film franchise licensing, due to the cost of that, if they ever did Robocop, it would have to be a dedicated cabinet for just that game, kind of like what you're seeing today with Terminator 2, right? One game, cost of the license when it comes to Robocop. So that's why I didn't even include it in my list. It's just not going to happen on a legacy cabinet. Now, does that mean Arcade1Up could make a dedicated Robocop cabinet in the future? I'm sure of it if they think they'll profit from it. But when it comes to every other Data East game, they could get all these games on a single cabinet. All right, guys, before we move on to Taito, tell me what you guys are thinking about this Data East legacy cabinet. And also, do you like my list? Now, remember, this is the list I picked. Let me know. Did I miss any of your favorites, or do you think any of these should be admitted? Let's get your feedback in the live chat, guys, because this is your show. I'm just here to entertain. Adam says this would be a day one insta buy. Jason, I'd buy Robocop. That's a dedicated cab. The art in the cab looks amazing alone. So there you go. He would be interested in a Robocop solo cabinet. Burger King is Terra bad in my opinion. I suck. I suck at. I think he means Burger Time. I suck at Burger Time myself. I could never get good at it. Art says it would be a no-go for him. Jason goes, I'd crap if Arcade1Up made an arcade with rotary joysticks that play Heavy Barrel or Akari Warriors. Now, I agree with you. You'll notice that Heavy Barrel and Akari Warriors are not on my list because I honestly don't see that happening. I don't see the rotary joysticks happening. You want something that you could use a lot of common controls for, and that's where my list came from here. Pliskin Run says, I forgot Ring King. He loves that game. I don't think I'm familiar with that one off top of my head, so I can't give you any feedback on that. Tony C says, Data East games are hit and miss. Uh, Tony, I would want RoboCop. Night Slashers is whatchamacallit. Night Slashers is really cool. Side-scrolling beat 'em up game, and who knows if they do offer online play, not just leaderboards, that could be a game that people could play together. But I just don't see whatchamacallit. I just don't see RoboCop happening due to the cost of the licenses and per what John D said. So another cabinet is interesting, and that would be Taito, right? Let's start getting your thoughts in here about Taito. Now, again, Taito, just like Data East, Taito, they're not as big of a town bicycle as Data East, but then again, when it comes to these home arcade products, about when it comes to Taito, there's like 40 some Taito games built into your At Games Legends Ultimate. iArcade has also signed a deal with Taito. They've released a couple of games, and they have a whole ton more Taito games that they'll be announcing and releasing as well, right? So again, it's the question of, do you want it a la carte? Do you want it on a multicade? Or do you want to have a more dedicated cabinet, right? Because there's a lot of people out there, they just love Arcade1Up. They're not interested in multicades, whether it's iArcade, at games. There are some people out there who love Arcade1Up. They only want to have Arcade1Ups in their home. Me, I have room for both. I'll have all the products from all these companies, but some people would be interested in getting a Taito cabinet. Now, keeping in mind that Arcade1Up on these legacy cabinets are sticking with 14 games. I think I have around 14 here. And I think we have a healthy mix. The biggest curse with these legacy cabinets is if you mix and match horizontal and vertical games, right? Typically, the best way to go then would be to give it a horizontal monitor, but try and get the aspect ratios as good as possible for the vertical games to make it work. Obviously, there'll be bars, they won't take up the full screen. Please don't stretch the games, right? But this is kind of the list I put together for Taito. I was like, okay, obviously Space Invaders, and odds are the reason I put the Space Invaders cabinet here is I have a feeling that the ones that would probably sell would probably be more Space Invaders artwork. Devil Waldo says Taito Legacy would be a good buy. Let's see here. I would love to see Zookeeper. I see I put that on my list. These are the list of games that I think they could do. I don't know if they would do the whatchamacallit, if they would do the oh god, what is it? Artwork for it. Yeah, I don't think it'd be a dedicated cabinet. He put Bad Dudes vs. Dragon Ninja. That's Data East. That was on my Data East slide. Okay, so let's continue on here. So some of the games that I could potentially see them doing here is obviously Space Invaders, Bubble Bobble, Elevator Action Returns, Puzzle Bobble, Roston, Darius, Operation Wolf, Arkanoid. Now here's the question is, in order to make those games play really well, would they include a trackball since we don't have light guns for Operation Wolf? Because Operation Wolf, you can't play with a trackball and it works actually pretty well. I've done that on like Legends Gamer Pro devices and At Games devices. Arkanoid, Trackball, Rainbow Islands, Shack and Pop, Crazy Balloon, Frontline, and Zookeeper. I kind of think that this would be a pretty decent list myself if they decided to make a Taito themed legacy cabinet. Now, obviously, all these games would have online leaderboards. I don't see a lot of opportunity for co op play when it comes to Taito. So the question is would they make it a Space Invaders legacy? Would they go Bubble Bobble artwork? Maybe Operation Wolf would sell. I don't know. But let's see, guys. Put your Taito feedback in here. Let's see it on here. So Do dedicated horizontal and vertical cabs. Let us pick and not mix and match games to screen orientation. Okay. Operation Wolf should be a dedicated gun cab. Yeah, I mean it's probably one of the more popular Taito games. I didn't want to leave it off the list, and it is playable with a trackball. I have cabinets all with all the emulators you can think of. I just love the dedicated cabs. There you go too as well. So for instance, what's so funny is every single Arcade1Up game that has been released, every single one of their cabinets has been released. I have ways to play those games on PC, Raspberry Pis, other devices, etc. So, but then again, people are trying to emulate and build a home arcade in their home with these 3/4 scale arcades. So that's what they're going for. Kev Gret, nice pull. Big event golf would be a nice mix up. Yep, that would be nice as well. J Stuff thinks Bubble Bobble would be a good seller. Yep, Papa Brad, I pointed that out earlier in the stream. Roston and Arkanoid are the only good games on that list. Oh, well, I mean, we to each his own. These are probably some of the most popular ones. That's why I went with these. I used to play Arkanoid all the time. Oh yeah, there are tons and tons of Taito games out there. But then again, keep in mind, we're stuck, guys. We're stuck picking 14. 14. If they made a legacy cabinet, odds are it would have 14 games. So we're trying to figure out like what 14 games would they do, right? What 14 games would they do? Twisted Gaming TV's here. What's up, Chris? I don't get the appeal on Bubble Bobble. Is it the audio files? It looks like it could. I love Bubble Bobble. It's a fun platformer, great music. You know, all you do is you squirt, hit the enemies, turn them into a bubble, pop the bubble, you kill them. It gets harder and harder the further you go. I like Bubble Bobble. It's one of my favorites. Pop Brad says Space Invaders needs backdrop emulation to be any good at all. See, I don't know. When Arcade1Up released Space Invaders, they released the original Space Invaders, if I recall. And then I think maybe they had the Space Invaders color on there. It was a 2 game cabinet. I wouldn't be surprised if that's what's going to happen on the iArcade as well, because that's also what's on the at games, if I recall. All right, so now you might say, okay, we got Taito, we got Data East, blah blah blah, boring games. What about Konami PDubs? That's like the big pub. If you look at the bigger publishers that they've made legacy cabinets out of, like Midway, Bandai Namco, Atari, and Capcom, why haven't they done a Konami cabinet? Why hasn't the Konami Legacy Edition been released yet? And out of all three of these choices, Data East, Taito, and Konami, the one that I am hearing the most behind the scenes rumors on that it's going to be announced this year is the Konami Legacy Cabinet. We have nothing on paper, we have nothing documented confirming that that is 100% true. No official announcements or leaks or anything have been made, but the behind the scenes rumors and chatter are pointing to the next Legacy Cabinet announced from Arcade1Up could possibly be that Konami Legacy Cabinet. Now, what's interesting about this cabinet is this cabinet is going to be really tough because it sounds awesome at first. Because what's the first thing you think of when you think of Konami arcade games, right? You think of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, you think of X-Men, you think of Simpsons, you think of Aliens, you think of G.I. Joe, you think of Blades of Steel. Well, when it comes to all those games, guys, I don't see those games ending up on a Konami legacy cabinet. Let me know if you disagree with me in the live chat. I think it's the same situation as Terminator 2, same situation as RoboCop. When it comes to those Hollywood franchise IPs or a major sports IP like the NHL, it sounds like if it's going to be released, it would have to be on a dedicated cabinet. That's why Ninja Turtles had Ninja Turtles 1 and 2. No other games. X-Men, they managed to throw what? A cheap little Data East game on there with X-Men. Simpsons, it was just Simpsons, etc. But if they did GI Joe, Aliens, TMT, X-Men, I don't see those ending up on a legacy cabinet, guys. I just don't see it. It would be a nightmare, and it would be a $10,000 cabinet due to all the licensing fees. Yes, that's an exaggeration. Don't go running around saying I quoted that. That's an exaggeration. So when it comes to Konami, I did put down here no major IP, TMNT, X-Men, Simpsons, Aliens, Blades of Steel, GI Joe. Don't see those happening, guys. Don't see those happening at all. I was tearing through the list of Konami arcade games, and obviously they've made a lot of them, right? So I picked more than 14. I think there might be 16 on here. I don't know. I got to count it. But I went through some of the ones that I thought would actually make for a good spread of type of games on this cabinet. And I have a feeling Contra would be your top pick, right? You got to have Contra. It's a run and gun. And in my personal opinion, I think a Contra Konami Legacy themed cabinet with that artwork on it, I think it would sell. I think it would sell over all the other ones that are on this list, either Contra or Track and Field or Track and Field. But let's go back to the list. So here's what I picked, and it's okay to agree to disagree. This is just where my head is at when I'm thinking of this. So we got Contra, Run and Gunner, Gradius, side scrolling shooter, Vendetta, and Crime Fighters. These are part of a series, side scrolling beat 'em up games. And, when it comes to Konami, they have a ton of side scrolling beat 'em up games. And if they've done online play with TMNT where we could play together, I see potential for online play for these kind of games as well. Obviously, they've done Frogger, they've done Time Pilot 84. It just makes sense to put those on here. They have the licenses. Odds are they can easily get those games added to this cabinet as well. I went with Super Cobra. It's a vertical scrolling shooter. It's actually one of my favorites. A little bit biased there. A little bit biased. Here's obviously, some of the anchors to make this cabinet really work would be Contra and Sunset Riders, right? Because everyone loves Sunset Riders. It's just such a fun side scrolling run and gunner. Mystic Warriors is an underrated side scrolling beat 'em up, in my opinion. It's actually a really good game. It would fit in with Vendetta and Crime Fighters and be pretty awesome to be able to do co op online play. I figured you might want to throw some sports games on here as well to change it up. So I went with Double Dribble because John D was always joking and teasing us about Double Dribble. Watch it actually happens. Arcade1Up loves putting those older wrestling games on the cabinet. So the Konami main event, I see that happening. Thundercross, another side-scrolling shooter. And obviously, here's the other anchor, right? So the three biggest games on this cabinet, sorry, Frogger fans, but would probably be Contra, Sunset Riders, Track and Field, in my opinion. And then you throw in Gyrus, you throw in Galactic Warriors, which is actually a vertical fighting game. I think you might have a well-rounded cabinet. So that's those were my picks, right? Now, is this the actual list? No, because this hasn't even been announced yet, right? Let me go back and read everyone's live chat. Let's get their reactions to all of this kinds of stuff. Track and Field, Konami Cabinet Legacy. Yes. So if they did Contra or Track and Field artwork, I think this cabinet would sell. Would it sell with Sunset Riders artwork? I don't know. Maybe. But yeah, I think Track and Field or Contra would be the way to go. Jason says Green Beret, and I think he means Contra 1 and 2. Sunset Riders. Jason's also on board with Contra. I want the Legacy cab to be $3.99 or no buy. So yeah. So my predictions are I think the new legacies, those all those new legacies are going to be somewhere between what did I say in my videos? It was $4.99 to $5.99. That's what I'm thinking because that's just they're raising their prices, guys. Oh, look at this. I'd be the only one, but I buy oh god, I can't even pronounce it. Ye are Kung Fu cabinet. There you go. Konami wants to do console collection ports only, I think. They are more focused on pachinko machines. Yeah, but then again, money talks, right? So if they think they can make a buck, who knows? They'll take it. Let's see here. Frogger only if the music is right. Are you sure Contra's vertical? I thought Contra was horizontal. I thought I got all my listings here correctly. I put a little H and a V by all of these. I would swear Contra was horizontal, but actually, you know what? We're looking right here at the screen. Yep, vertical. My bad. Little typo. Little bit of a typo right there as well. Frogger only if the music is right. I don't see that happening. I believe Violent Storm is Konami. Tony says only do horizontal games on a Konami Legacy cabinet. I just don't see Arcade1Up doing that. Arcade1Up has had plenty of opportunity to make these legacy cabinets and just pick a style of game like horizontal or vertical. But what do they always do? They always mix and match. So would they do the Spock, Star Trek, this is logical thing? And just do one set of games on a cabinet? I just don't see him doing that. I don't see him doing that. I think they would mix them up. I think we'd get a healthy mix of stuff. Typhoon is a cool game. There you go. You don't think track and field will happen on a legacy? Well, I mean, I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful. Cowboys of Moo Mesa. Yes, I love Cowboys of Moo Mesa. That would be cool. Hard to leave that one off the list. Haunted Castle. There you go. Love seeing your guys' reactions. Keep in mind, I just picked the ones that I thought were most likely. And it's okay to agree to disagree. We're all friends here, right? We're all friends. It's okay to agree to disagree. This is just what I thought. I want your feedback. And who knows if someone from Arcade1Up watches this video, they see your feedback. Maybe it helps. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it doesn't. Yes, this is the logical thing we've asked for years from Arcade1Up, and it just hasn't happened. They mix and match. They mix and match horizontal and vertical, and I don't see them stopping mixing. Yes, yes, yes. The pick is vertical. Yes, 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 yes. Vertical CRTs. How cool would it be for Arcade1Up to do a rotating screen? I don't know if they could. Last I checked, AtGames has a patent pending on the rotating screen. Now, whether or not they could do it, I don't know. We'll see. I don't know how the patent's worded. Is it like for machines of this form factor or just in general? You know what I mean? Like I don't know how that would work out. But that would be cool as well. Track and field was a huge hit in arcades when it came out. There you go. But then again, guys, the one that I am hearing the strongest behind the scenes rumors on is that it's going to be the Konami Legacy cabinet. The Taito and the Data East cabinets, I don't think would sell as well as a Konami, right? Because Konami, bigger publisher, bigger names, better games than some, right? You know, it all depends on personal preference as well. But that's the one I'm hearing is coming. So it had me thinking, what games are they going to put on there? Hell, it could not be a single game on my list. It could be 14 totally other different games. I thought it would be cool if we could have the discussion. So yeah, Tony put TMNT, GI Joe. But if you joined late, Tony, take a look here at the bottom of the screen. No major IP, TMNT, X-Men, Simpsons, Aliens, Blades of Steel, GI Joe. If someone is thinking they're going to get a super Konami cabinet that has all those Hollywood type IP and professional sports IP all on the same cabinet, it's not going to happen. No way. It would be a licensing nightmare, like someone else wrote in the live chat. That's why, you know, TMNT is by itself, Terminator 2 by itself, Simpsons by itself, X-Men minus a couple silly data. I think it was Data East game they threw on the X-Men cabinet. That's why they're all by themselves, the cost of the licenses and all that stuff. They couldn't release a cabinet that had TMNT, X-Men, Simpsons, Aliens, Blades of Steel, GI. It's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Even though that would be amazing. Yes, and that is why I did not include RoboCop in my Data East Legacy list. And also, if you join the stream late, my friend, because what you call it, the cost of the RoboCop license would be way too expensive. John D told me himself, he goes, if we ever did RoboCop, it would be on its own, just like Terminator 2, due to the cost of the license. You're talking the Hollywood film IP is totally different than, hey man, we want to get the license for Gradius or Gradius. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole nother a couple of zeros you got to add to that check. You know what I'm saying? Oh yes, Metamorphic Force. Yeah, that's a cool one as well. Yes, that's a cool one. That's side-scrolling beat 'em up game as well, I believe. Yeah, that one's awesome. Yes. So I wanted to get this live stream in before the football game started. I was going to do it tonight, but then I remembered got that big football playoff game tonight. And I don't know about you guys, but that's what I'm going to be watching tonight is some playoff football. Super Bowl's coming along with that Arcade1Up NFL Blitz announcement. We're assuming. So I wanted just to get this live stream in today. And also, yes, I know I've done like 5 or 6 talking head videos in a row, but guess what, guys? I got produced content coming right out, product reviews and mods and stuff like that. So just hang in there. No more talking head videos. We'll get you the shorter produced content here published this week. I'm going to go watch some NFL football as well. I thought this would be fun. If you catch this on replay, leave me your comments below. Let me know what you think of these cabinets. Which one do you want the most? And which games did you like or not like on my lists? And all that kinds of stuff. If you enjoyed the live stream, guys, do me a favor. Give me a thumbs up on the way out. And as always, my dudes, thank you for subscribing. You guys have a great day. Football!